Om Dakshinasya Samarambha Shankaracharya Madhyama Asmadacharya Paryanta Smarya Guru Parampara Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaran Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः परिज्ञानाश्रम श्रीगुरुशङ्कर परिज्ञानाश्रम शङ्कर सद्गुरु केशववामन कृष्ण पाण्डुरङ्ग आनन्द परिज्ञान गुरु सद्यो जात शङ्कर सद्गुरु गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः वेदान्तडिण्डिमास्तत्त्वम् एकम् उद्घोषयन्ति यत् आस्तां पुरस्तात् तत्तेजः दक्षिणामूर्तिसन्निधम्. So we have come to the place where, to the verses where the Acharya Narasimha Saraswati is giving us the Panchakosha Viveka. And as I told you already, he said in the last few verses that Annamaya Kosha or the Sthula Shariram, I am not. At the same time, I don't have that Sthula Shariram or Annamaya Kosha. Okay, it doesn't belong to me. I am not that Sthula Sharira. But then who am I? I am the very Sakshi Chaitanyam of Sthula Sharira. Similarly, Sukshma Sharira. Similarly, Karana Sharira. And this entire Sharira Trayam divided into 5 koshas or 5 layers of Anatma, where layer by layer, layer by layer, layer by layer, by using Drik Drishya Viveka, initially I am not the Annamaya Kosha because Annamaya Kosha is the Drishyam and I am the Drik. Pranamaya Kosha is Drishyam, I am the Drik, therefore I am not the Pranamaya Kosha. Manomaya Kosha is Drishyam, I am the Drik, therefore I am not the Manomaya Kosha. Vijnanamaya Kosha is Drishyam and I am the Drik and therefore I cannot be the Drishyam Vijnanamaya Kosha. Similarly, Anandamaya Kosha is also Drishyam and I am the Drik and therefore I cannot be the Drishyam Anandamaya Kosha. Then who am I? I am the Sakshi Chaitanyam of all these 5 koshas. That means what? I am there in and through all these, but I don't get afflicted by any of them. The Sthula Sharira with its urmis or its afflictions like Jara Mrityu does not, Roga, Jara Mrityu does not affect me. The urmis or the afflictions of Pranamaya in the form of Kshut and Pipasa, thirst and hunger do not affect me. The Manomaya Kosha's urmis or afflictions in the form of Shoka and Moha do not affect me. The Anandamaya Kosha's Kartritvam, Aham Karta iti Kartritvam, Ahankara does not affect me. The Anandamaya Kosha's Ajnanam does not affect me. Then who am I? I am neither Jnanam nor Ajnanam, nor am I any of these. But who am I? I am the very Sakshi Chaitanyam, who is a witness consciousness of each layer of Anatma with its own afflictions. The afflictions belong to the Anatma and not to me. The dharmas belong to the Anatma and not to me. I am tall, I say. What is tall? The body is tall. The tallness of the body does not affect me in any way. The tallness of the body does not make I, the Atma, tall. Similarly, I am fat. The fatness of the body does not afflict or affect the Anatma in any way. That means the Deha, the Prana, then the Manaha, Buddhihi, Ahankara, all these things, all the layers of Anatma, they have their own dharmas, they have their own vagaries, they have their own afflictions, which belong to them only. They don't belong to me. I am sick. I say, I am not sick. The body is sick. And the sickness of the body is recognized by the mind, and the mind is disturbed. Okay, therefore, I am the Sakshi or the witness consciousness, witnessing comfort, discomfort, roga, jara, mrityu, everything, all the emotions that arise in my body, everything. And then the author wanted to say that in that case, how come this sharira, this mind, these sense organs are as though they are live, as though they are going on doing independently their work because they are conscious principles? No. So that's why the author wanted to say in the 57th to 59th verse, which we took last time, that that existence which you see in all the five koshas, dehadi koshaga satta, dehadi koshaga spurtihi, dehadi koshaga pritihi, what is that? It is nothing but this Atmasvarupa. All right, Vyashti Anatma is over. What about the Samashti Anatma? There is a world that I'm interacting with. There is a world with all its names and forms and its own vagaries and its own beauty and variety and all kinds of things. And the world also, like me, is the Sthula Prapancha, Sukshma Prapancha, and Karana Prapancha is there. And there are afflictions of that particular prapancha also to itself. Then what is it that makes that anatma sthula sukshma karana prapancha have that existence and consciousness and pritihi or ananda in it? Even though the world of objects is jadam, still then we see an existence in it. We see the easiness in it. We see that a part of this universe of objects is also a conscious universe. We also see that this universe, objects in this universe are giving or evoking some kind of a preeti or happiness. From where is it coming? So he says that just like dehadi koshaga satta, dehadi koshaga spurtihi, dehadi kosha pritihi, similarly panchabhutadi vyomadi panchabhutastha satta, vyomadi panchabhutastha chit, vyomadi panchabhutastha pritihi or anantatvam. They belong to whom? Sa satta paramam brahma. That existence is Brahman. Sa chid yeva param brahma. That chit or consciousness or conscious jivas and other things which we see in the universe, it is nothing but Brahman. Sa reva Brahma. That preeti or sukha or ananda that is seen in any of these object of the worlds, is nothing but Brahman, na anyata. Very clearly he say, sa satta paramam brahma na anyat. Sa chiddeva param brahma na anyat. Nothing else. There is only one Brahman. All these thousands and millions of things which we see are mere appearances. They are mere name and form. But as I said, Anatma cannot exist without the Atma. Anatma is not independently existable. Anatma is not independently conscious. Anatma is independently not having any kind of a sukha or ananda in it. Therefore, whatever Anatma has in the form of existence, consciousness, and sukham is a mere reflection of that Param Brahma. Then, in the last three verses that we saw, 57, 58, and 59, he said that we should not mistake the satta or the existence behind this body mind sense complex is one, and the satta there in the samashti prapancha, the existence is another. Consciousness here is one, consciousness there is two. We should not mistake like that. Please don't ever think like that. There are no multiple existences, there are no multiple consciousnesses, there are no multiple sukhas or ananda. There is one existence, sarvagatam, anantam, sat, atma, brahman is the one and the only existence behind the vyashti, dehadi panchaga sattaya, sa vyomadi gata, vyomadi bhuta gata. Dehadi koshaga spurtihiya, sa vyomadi bhuta gata. Dehadi koshaga pritirya, sa vyomadi bhuta gata. That existence here is the same existence there. Here and there means what? There is no here and there, actually speaking. There is only one thing. Okay. So here means this body mind sense complex, what I call as Sakshi Chaitanya Atma, is nothing other than that Brahman itself. That existence here is the same existence everywhere. Actually, this Anatma body mind sense complex, the entire Anatma Jagat, everything is in the same one existence, one consciousness, and one Ananda. And it is the same existence, consciousness, Ananda, which is seeping in every object of the universe, living and non-living. So this is what we saw in the last session. Up till the 59th verse, we saw that only. Then we come to the 60th verse. In the 60th verse, he says that, what is this Brahman? What is this Svarupam of this Brahman? Brahman cannot be Atma, or Brahman cannot be described as an object. I already said, Vedanta says that. It is not belonging to the Shabda Pravritti Niyamas. That means what? We cannot describe Atma or Brahman as an object by using the common methods which we use to describe an object. Isn't it? An object is something which is dravyam. An object is something, dravya means it is there, it is a material, it is an object, dravyam. An object is dravyam. Then it has a guna, it has an attribute. Fine. Then it has a karma. It does some kind of a karma, some kind of an activity. Then it has a sambandha with the other objects of the universe. Whereas what about this Atma and Brahman? This Atma and Brahman is not dravyam. It is not an object. It's not a material object. So it can't fit into describing it as a material object. Understand? So it is not a dravyam. It does not have a guna. Like I can say, ice is solid, water is liquid, steam is gas. Different states, gunas. I can't say that about Atma. Is Atma a solid or liquid or gas? Is Atma tall or short? Ananu, ahrisvam, ahrisva, ananu, adhirgam. The Upanishad says it has no gunas. It's neither tall nor short. It's neither long or broad. It is nothing because what? It is nirgunaha. Whereas an object is sagunaha. Therefore, you can describe with a guna. Isn't it? You can describe see that thing which is white there, no, among all those others. That is what I want. I can differentiate. I can show you a particular object, point out to a particular object with its guna or attribute. Then karma is one of the ways I can indicate an object. You see that which is doing that, something is happening there that I'm pointing out to that. Supposing there are 10 people standing there. I say, you see that man who's holding an umbrella, okay, and walking. The man holding an umbrella and walking to the left, that man I'm talking about. With his karma, I can identify and I can show you. So, an object can be identified by its karma or its activity, or we can identify an object by its sambandha. Sambandha means connection with something else. Okay, I can say, see that person who's standing next to that person, no, he's his son. Okay, that is his son. So, with sambandha, we can explain or describe an object. But here, Atma is having no sambandha with anybody. Nishkriya Atma, there is no kriya there. Atma is not a dravyam, and Atma does not have any guna. Therefore, how do you describe it? You describe Atma, Brahman, by its Swarupa Lakshana. Swarupa Lakshana. And what is the Swarupa Lakshanam of Atma Brahman? For Brahman, we say Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam Brahma. Satyam means that which provides satta or existence. Jnanam means what? That which is a conscious principle and lends consciousness to everything else. Anantam. Anantam means what? It is absolutely infinite. It is infinite existence, infinite consciousness. It's there everywhere, one without a second, covering everything. There's nothing which is not covered by or in Brahman Atma. That's why there is an Upanishad called Ishavasya Upanishad. Ishavasyam idam sarvam, it is said that. Everything that is there, idam sarvam, this entire universe, is Ishavasyam, in which everything is nothing but the abode of Ishvara. It is nothing but covered with Ishvara, imbued, enthused with Ishvara. Ishvara means Brahman. Ishavasyam. So, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, from the point of view of Samashti Brahman, or we say Sat Chit Ananda Atma. Both of them mean the same. Sat, Satta Pradayaka, existence, the real one, the Paramarthika Satyam. Jnanam, the knowingness, the awareing principle in me, the Jiva. Anandam, Sat Chit Ananda, Purnatva Swarupa, Ananda Swarupa. Many people translate it as bliss, but that's not a correct translation. Ananda means the Purnatvam, Purnatva Swarupam, Ananda Swarupam, Sukha Swarupam. That Ananda which is complete, Purnaha, nothing lacking in it. That Sukham is something complete, no lesha with Dukkha. Therefore, it is called as Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, Satchitananda Atma. Both are the same. All the three descriptions of Swarupa Lakshanam of Atma Brahman, they both mean the same. Satyam and Sat, same. Chit and Jnanam is the same. Ananda, Ananta is one and the same. Therefore, Atma, Ayam Atma, Brahma. So now in the 60th verse, he is now concluding what we have seen in the last 9 verses. He's concluding it with first 3 verses was, it is the Atma, which is the Satta Spurti Pradayaka of the Vyashti Anatma. It is Brahman, which is the Satta Spurti Priti Pradayaka of the entire material universe. Then in the next 3 verses, this Satta and that Satta are one and the same. This consciousness, Jnanam or Spurti, and the Spurti, Panchabhutadiga, it's same. Priyam, Anandam, Ananda Swarupa, this and that are one and the same. So here, now, in the 60th verse, he concludes this with ultimately giving the Brahma Swarupa Lakshanam. And the 60th verse says, Sachidananda Rupatvat Brahmaivatmana Samshayaha Shruti Pramanusandhanat Iti Vedantadindimah. So, Sat, Chit, Anandarupatvat. Because of its Swarupam being Satta, Sat, Chit, knowingness or knowledge, Ananda, infiniteness or Purnatvam, Swarupat, Brahmaiva Atma. Brahmaiva Atma. Atma Brahmaiva. Ayam Atma Brahma. Prajnanam Brahma. All these are the Mahavakyas. This is also a Mahavakya. In this teaching, it's Mahavakya. Brahmaiva Atma. Rupatvat. What Rupatvat? Satchidananda Rupat. Brahmaiva Atma. Brahman alone is Atma. Na samshayaha. There is no samshaya at all. There is no doubt that this Atma is Brahman. Then why are we having 2 names for it? They are not two different things. From the point of view of the Vyashti Upadhi, this Chaitanyam behind this we call as Atma, and from the point of view of the entire Jagat, we call it Ishvara or Brahman. Both are one and the same. And both of them have the same Swarupam, Sat Chit Ananda. And what is this proved by? Because this is something which is not an object of perception. Then what is it that confirms this? He says, Shruti Pramanusandhanad iti Vedantadindimah. Okay, this is the Yathartha Jnanam, the Paramarthika Satyam, the ultimate reality that is given by Shruti. This is the knowledge of the Shruti. Shruti Pramanusandhana. By understanding this, by contemplating over it, it is the Shruti Pramana. It is the knowledge, the Shruti in its Pramana. It gives me this Swarupam of Brahman. And in the matter of Atma Vidya, Brahma Vidya, the only thing which is conclusive is Vedanta Pramana. No other Pramana can be used in describing Atma or Brahman. Why? I told you just now. Because it is subject. Okay? It is subtle. It is not an object of perception. It cannot be objectified by Shabda Pravritti Niyamas. It is not available for Pratyakshadi Pramanas. Therefore, How do you accept that? How do you understand that it is? It is by Shruti Pramana. So Shruti Pramanusandhanat iti Vedantadindimah. Okay, that means from the Shruti, this knowledge which comes from the Shruti, which is the Yathartha Jnanam, which is the real ultimate knowledge. And if that is understood, then Mahavakya is understood, and then I know what I am. I am not this body, mind, sense complex, but I am this Atma Brahman. Aham asmi iti everybody knows. Aham Brahma asmi iti, that Vishesha Jnanam is not there. That is what is veiled by Maya's Avarana Shakti. Aham asmi, everybody knows. If somebody says, "Are you there?" Yes, I'm there. I am. I am. I don't need to take any kind of a confirmation from anybody, isn't it? I am. I am here. I am. I know I am. I don't need any pramana from anybody. So I am is very, very obvious to me. What am I? What is that I am? I am Brahmaniti, I don't know. Then what do I call myself? I am the body. I am the mind. I am the sense complex. This is my body, my mind. Okay. I see I in the body, mind, sense complex, ahankara. Then everything that belongs to or close by to this body becomes mine. My children, my family, my money, my house, and my job, and mine, ahankara, mamakara. And then comes I am the doer. I am doing this. I have to get this. I have to enjoy this phalam. That is how our avidya is just, increasing in geometric proportion. Just going up in a geometric proportion, it is going. So once I understand that, I am none of these. I am that Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. I am that Sarvagata Atma. I am that Nishkriya Atma. I am that Ekamatvayam Atma. Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Atma Brahma Ahamasmi. This should be my understanding about myself. And that is the most natural thing that I should know. Unfortunately, I am living in a very unnatural knowledge I am living with. That knowledge which I have about myself is because of the avarana and vikshepa shakti of Maya. This is my avidya. And what is Vedanta trying to do? To remove this avidya by Atmajnanam, in telling me, in pointing out to me, nothing different, nothing new. Vedanta only points out, you are not what you think you are, but you are this ultimate truth. Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Atma. That's what Vedanta does. It removes my ignorance. It removes my vikshepa. And then it shows the mirror to myself to see me as I am. That is the work of Shruti. That's the work of Vedanta. Vedanta doesn't give me anything new. It doesn't teach me anything new. The knowledge that it gives me is the knowledge that I have not really looked at myself the way I have to. It only makes me look at myself in the proper perspective, that's all. All this time, I have a mistaken notion about myself. It, it removes that mistake. That is what Vedanta does. I'm already what I am. I'm already that. And Vedanta tells me, you are already that. But unfortunately, you are not aware of it because of these things. And if you do this, get rid of this with various prakriyas, it explains. And it just shows me to myself. It just holds a mirror to me, to my reality or my true nature. So this is Shruti Pramana Anusandhanat iti Vedantadindimah. Shruti Pramana is the only Pramana here. There is nothing else. So, one Mahavakya it came here. It is something like, Atma Brahma Abheda Vakya. So, Satchidananda Rupatvat Brahmaiva Atma Na Samshaya. Okay? Atma Brahma Abheda. Atma Brahma Ekatvam. Abhedatvam is what is talked about here. Now, so I may say that, okay, I don't understand this. I'm Atma, I'm a Jiva. I'm a Jiva, correct? So I feel I'm an individual. I'm an individual Jiva. I have a individual body which nobody else has. Okay, I have a mind which is exclusive in thinking the way it does. Nobody thinks like me. So I'm a Jiva. So I'm something very different from others. Isn't it? That is the reason many times for my superiority complex and inferiority complex also. But then here in the next verse, in the 61st verse, so he wants to say that Jiva and Brahma are not different at all. They are the same. Satta Rupena api, Jiva and Brahma are one and the same. It is the same Sat, which is Jiva also, which is Brahma also. It is the same Chit, which is the Jiva also, Brahma also. It is the same Priya or Ananda or Sukha Rupa in both. So they are not different. That's what he wants to say in the next three verses 61, 62, and 63. So he is न जीव ब्रह्मणोर्भेदः सत्तारूपेण विद्यते सत्ताभेदेन मानं स्यात् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः न जीव ब्रह्मणोः भेदः. In what way? Sattarupena. That existence, Atma, is the same existence, Brahman. So, Jiva and Brahma, no bheda, abheda. Why? We saw in the previous verse, Tadaiva Brahma, okay, Rupatvad Brahmaiva Atma. Brahmaiva Atma iti Vedantadindimah. That Brahman is this Atma. Okay? This Atma, I am Atma, Brahma. Okay? Aham, this Atma, Brahma Asmi. How? How can this Atma be that Brahman? That he is explaining now. Na jiva brahmanor bhedaha. Jiva brahmanoho bhedaha nasti. Why? Both of them satta rupena vidyate. The sat which is here, vyashtitaya, what we called as sat, and the satta or satyam, that is the adhishtanam of the entire world I perceive, is one and the same. It is one sat or satta or existence which is everywhere. This Vyashti Upadhi also is in that Satta only. The Samashti Upadhi Jagat also is in that Satta only. There are no two Sattas. There are no two Sats. There are no two existences. Okay? The existence, the isness is the same, in which all the upadhis exist. So, satta bhede na manam. Satta bhede na pramanam. There is no Vedanta pramana. There is no Veda pramana for satta bheda. Okay, you are here This satta, you, the satta is different from somebody else's satta, somebody else. Satta doesn't belong to anybody. Satta means existence doesn't belong to me. I am that existence. The world is, the book is, the tree is. Every name and form, upadhi, anatma, is having the same sat as the adhishtanam. Satta bhede na manam. Manam means pramana. No proof. No Veda proof. Because in this matter of Atma Vidya, the only pramana is Vedas, Vedanta, Upanishads. For Atma Vidya, there is no other pramana. Absolutely no other pramana. It's only Vedanta pramana. And in Vedanta pramana, there is nowhere you can see any kind of an explanation or pramana for Satta Bheda. Satta Bhede na manam syat iti Vedantadindimah. Then comes na jiva brahmano bhedah spurthi rupena vidyate. Okay. Spurti bhedena manam syat iti vedantadindimaha. Na jiva brahmanoho spurti rupena vidyate. No. First he said, satta rupena na vidyate. Jiva brahmanoho bhedah. Here, spurti rupena jiva brahmanor bhedam na vidyate. Same consciousness. Kshetragnyam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Sarva kshetreshu. Everywhere, in everything, whether this consciousness is manifested like in a living being or unmanifest in a non-living being, it is sarva kshetreshu, in all objects, in all the upadhis, in all the namabhedas, namarupas, what consciousness is present, either a manifest one or in the unmanifest form, that consciousness is nothing but one consciousness. There is no bheda. There's no consciousness different in a jiva. There's no consciousness different in the jagat. Okay, so or Brahma. Jiva Brahmanoho. In Brahman and Jiva, the consciousness is not different. In different upadhis, the consciousness is not different. It is one consciousness. Like space, which appears in, supposing there are 100 vessels. Okay, and the space is there in 100 vessels. But are there different 100 spaces there? No. There is one space appearing as though it is 100 because of the upadhi of the vessel. Correct? Similarly, millions of jivas are there. It doesn't mean that consciousness is million consciousnesses or that consciousness is divided into million pieces. No. It is the same consciousness in this upadhi, in your upadhi, in whichever upadhi you take. It is the same consciousness. It is not different at all. Okay? And the upadhi may be any number, but the consciousness is nothing but one. So, najiva brahmanor bhedah spurti rupena vidyate. Spurti rupena, from the point of view of consciousness, there is no bheda whatsoever in Brahma and Jiva. Okay, rupena vidyate. Spurti bhede na manam. Spurti bhede na manam. There is no pramana in the scriptures, in the Shastra, for this kind of a spurti bheda. No different consciousnesses. No different consciousnesses. It's one consciousness behind everything. iti Vedantadindimah. Then na jiva brahmanor bhedaha priya rupena vidyate priya bhedena manam syat iti Vedantadindimah. So priya rupam, priya swarupam or ananda swarupam, ananta swarupam. No bheda between Atma and Brahman. Absolutely no bheda between Atma and Brahman. Why? Because it is one Ananda Swarupa. Atma and Brahman are one Ananda Swarupa. So Jiva and Brahman, they have no difference in the Priya Swarupa. That Ananda Swarupa Atma behind every Jiva, and that Anantam Brahma, the Purnatva infinite nature of Brahman is one and the same. There is no question of any bheda here at all. So, na bheda. Because this is the most important. So, how many we have seen now? Three. Satta, then Spurti, and then Preeti. We have seen it involving what? We have seen it involving first Panchakoshas, then Panchabhutas, then talking about in what is there in Panchabhutas and what is there in Panchakoshas, one and the same. Three sets are over. Now here, the same thing, the fourth set of three. There is no Jiva Brahman or Beda Satta Rupena, no. Satta Rupena, both of them are one. Spurti Rupena, both of them are one. Preeti Rupena or Ananda Rupena, both of them are one. Therefore, all these are Mahavakyas. All these are first there was a Tvampada Vichara, then there was a Tatpada Vichara, then there was an Aikya Vichara. Panchakoshadiga, what we saw, Tvampada Vichara, Jiva Vichara. Then Panchabhutadiga, Satta, Spurti, Priya. That is what? Tatpadartha Vichara, Ishvara Vichara. Then there are two sets which talk about that Satta in the Panchakoshas and that which is in the Panchabhutas is one and the same. And that existence consciousness in Jiva and Brahman, it is one and the same. So all these are Mahavakyas to talk about oneness, Ekam, Advitiyam. Not a second one is there. Ekam Yeva Advitiya Atma. Ekam Yeva Advitiya Brahma. Okay, this is the crux of the teaching of Vedanta. Mahavakya Vichara, he has already come to the Mahavakya Vichara. Then in the 64th verse, he comes there. न जीव ब्रह्मणोर्भेदः नाम्ना रूपेण विद्यते नाम्नो रूपस्य मिथ्यात्वात् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः. Now some Purva Pakshi or some person who wants to object may say, Nama Rupa is different, no? There are different Namas, different Rupas are there. The Jiva looks like this. We don't know how Brahman looks. So Jiva Brahmanor Bedaha Namna Rupena na Vidyate. There is no name and form. For Jiva, for Atma also there is no name and form. For Brahman also there is no name. For Jiva there is a name and form in the form of this Upadhi. Correct? And this Upadhi is Mithya. For Brahman, there is an Upadhi in the form of name and form called as the whole universe, with thousands of objects, with thousands of Upadhis. And we have already seen that those names and forms and Upadhis are nothing but Mithya. So when we say that they're all Mithya, na jiva brahmanor bhedaha namna rupena vidyate. So, there is no nama, there is no rupa at all for Jiva and Atma. You may say still we call it by a particular name. We call it Jiva, we call it Brahma. Is there no name? Are we not giving it a name? We are giving it a name because that vastu has to be somehow explained. But in the world, with relationship to all the anatma, every name has a form. But when it comes to Brahman or Atma, though we use that name called as Atma or Brahma, there is no rupam for that. There is no form for that. We use these terms because there is no other go. Okay? Many times we say, I am that. We have heard that. Okay? Tat tvamasi, it is called as. Tat, that. That also is a name given. I am that. Aham Brahmasmi. Okay? So what is that I and what is that? So Brahma, Atma, Ishvara. We're using all these terms because the vastu, otherwise we have to say the vastu, that about which we are discussing, that about which we are talking, that vastu, we are talking about that. Correct? So here he says, na jiva brahmanor bhedaha namna rupena vidyate. Either by name or by shape and form. Okay? There is no difference between jiva and Brahman because name and form is mithya. Jiva is associated with this name and form upadhi, which is mithya. Brahman incidentally associated with this particular name and form called as the Jagat. But otherwise, there is no question of name and form bheda in Brahman or Atma. Atma is called this, Brahma is called this, therefore they are different. Atma is called Atma, Brahman is called Brahman, that is why they are different. No, nothing. That's not like that. Okay? Brahman or Atma are not indicating an object with the name and form. Brahman and Atma are the very names given to the very Swarupam of this Jiva, the very Swarupam of this entire universe. Okay? Then what are the Nama Rupas then? What are these Nama Rupas? What do they indicate? What are they? So we'll do this one and we'll stop. Otherwise, I think I have taken too many verses in this because they were all talking about the same thing. There was one common pattern in all these 9 verses or 12 verses which we took. Therefore, there was really nothing much to elaborate upon them. And therefore, we could just take the sets, the 4 sets of 3 in each set. We were able to take it together to explain one concept. So just see, this author is so, you know, uh, innovative. I can say that Narasimha Saraswati Acharya has used that Jiva Brahma Abheda to be talked about in sets of 3, 4 sets he has taken and beautifully explained the whole concept. In 12 verses, the whole thing has been explained. Very, very innovative, sorry. So that's why it is said that each author, each acharya, each writer, when he writes a grantha talking about Vedanta teachings, especially if it is a Manana grantha or an niddhidhyasana grantha, each acharya shows his own flavor of writing. This is his own flavor of writing. And because of this particular way in which there is so much lalityam, there is so much of saralata in that, and there is so much of, this poetry in this. So many people actually say Vedantadindimah is a work of Adi Shankaracharya. They say that. Many acharyas, when they take up this text, they say it is Adi Shankara's work. But then, you know, that is, we really don't know. Doesn't matter whether it's Adi Shankara's work or Narasimha Saraswati's work. Ultimately, what we want is niddhidhyasanam to be made simpler for us. Niddhidhyasanam is made very simple. So, okay, now we said there is no bheda between Jiva and Brahman from the point of view of Sat Chit Ananda Rupa. But can't there be any difference there from the point of Nama Rupa? Isn't it? Now, if you look at it from the point of Nama, okay, Jiva is one who has this whole upadhi of five sense organs of perception, five sense organs of action and prana and this and that, all that. The other one is, the whole universe, who is nothing but Ishvara, having the laws of Ishvara, doing things different. Okay. What is afflicting the Jiva does not afflict Ishvara. Ishvara is totally unconcerned, unafflicted, always happy, with so much of, all the six bhagas: Samagra Aishwaryam, Samagra Jnanam, Samagra Vairagyam, Samagra Yashas, Samagra Viryam, Samagra Shakti. Now you take the Jiva, what is this Alpam only? Alpa Jnanam. That also, how long it will last, we don't know. Alpa Yashas. Somewhere once in a way somebody recognizes us and says, oh, you have done something, you have achieved something. Okay. Then Alpa Shri, not Samagra Shri. Hardly anything we have, isn't it? Alpa Vairagyam, once in a way we get Vairagyam towards certain things. The next moment we want something, we want something, we want something. So it is, how can it be different? That particular thought always comes. That's why this previous verse was said that Nama Rupa only are superficial, Mithya only belonging to the Upadhi. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma Atma has no differentiation in name and form. So we'll go to the 65th verse. Nanama rupe niyate sarvatva vyabhicharataha anama rupa sarvasyat iti vedantadindimah. So, what is said by Vedanta is na nama rupe niyate. The nama and the rupas in anatma jagat or anatma vyashti na niyate. They are not the same. They are not one and the same. Isn't it? You see our own selves, how our bodies, how our sense organs, how our minds, how our buddhis, how our kartritvam, bhoktritvam, how they have not remained the same. Isn't it? Everywhere they are different. In me only, what was 10 years ago is very different from what it is today. In every jiva, whatever it is a very different. Nama rupas are varied, multifarious, multiple. Dvaitam means multiple. It is everywhere there. Okay? Everywhere you find that they are different. Correct? So what are these nama rupas? They are constantly changing. They never remain the same. Sometimes I cannot recognize myself in my childhood photo. So much I have changed. So much we have changed, isn't it? As we jayate, vardate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, vinashyati, we see so many things in that. This namarupa, which is constantly changing, which is not one and the same. What it is yesterday, it is not today, it is not tomorrow. Therefore, do we really say that these namarupas really exist? They are a mere appearance in existence. They don't really exist at all. Okay? Anamarupa sarvaha. Everything is anamarupa. Na namarupe niyate sarvatra vyabhicharaha. There is no niyatam. Niyatam means what? There's no question of any kind of fixed order in namarupa. Absolutely no fixed order in namarupa. What is here today will not find it tomorrow. Correct? So, na nama rupe niyate. It's not the same. And sarvatra vyabhicharaha. Everywhere the nama rupas are constantly changing. Okay? Then he says, anama rupaha sarvasyat iti vedantadindimah. So the actual jiva, the actual Brahman is anamarupaha. Okay? That which is anama arupa, that is the real me. That is my ultimate reality. Therefore, anama rupaha sarvaha syaditi vedanta dindima. That means everything really being mithya, being this mithya, anama rupa being mithya, therefore, really speaking, these nama rupas don't belong to me, they belong only to the upadhi, which is anyway mithya and constantly changing. This is the proclamation of Vedanta. So we have completed 65. So I think we have another 30 verses. Probably we'll finish much earlier than what I thought we would take. Nandantu sadhaka sarve vinashyantu vidushakaha avastha shambhavi mestu prasannostu gurus sada sarve bhavantu sukhinaha sarve santu niramayaha sarve bhadrani pashyantu मा कश्चित् दुःखमाप्नुयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ तत्सत्